Good evening. Um, we finished the first part of the first Dibra, which is Anochi Hashem Elokecha, I am your Hashem, who took you out of Mitzrayim. And we spoke that we learned that this is teaching us about Emuna, believing in Hashem as the creator, as the master of the world, and the one who runs the world, is involved in the world. So I would like to take maybe 2 or 3 lessons to actually see it in practice. So we have, like we said, the Emuna is it's fundamental. It's very basic. Without it, there's nothing else really. Emuna, believe in Hashem, right? So we know that when Ben Israel were in Mitzrayim, right, they saw the Makot, they saw the plagues, they came out of Mitzrayim, and then they crossed the sea. After they crossed the sea, that's when it says, "As Yashir Moshe uvnei Israel," that Ben Israel, Moshe and Ben Israel decided to praise Hashem, sing a song to Hashem. And it says, "Vayaminu b'Hashem u'b'Moshe avdo." It also says, "Vayir'u meHashem," and they feared Hashem. "Vayaminu b'Hashem u'b'Moshe avdo." They believed, they feared Hashem, and then it says they believed in Hashem and in Moshe. So there are a few questions here. The first question is, how can we have fear of Hashem before Emuna? Why is it that Ben Israel said the Shira only after Yam Suf? That was 7 days after they came out of Mitzrayim. Why didn't they say Shira before they came out of Mitzrayim, after seeing all the Makot? Why didn't they say Shira after they came out of Mitzrayim? Right? So what is it that happened now that made them sing the praises of Hashem? So the Rambam says that the existence of the Creator, Metziut Habore, the existence of the Creator, and that all that is in this world, Shamayim, Uba'aretz, in heaven, in the earth, in the sea, in the air, everything, right, and everything in between, comes from Hashem. Yet, when we ask scientists, and we ask them, do you believe in the Creator? And they tell you, no, it's nature, it was a big bang, it was this, it was that, and they give us all kind of answers. We have here a small story that happened with Rabbi Avraham Ben Ezra in Spain. He lived at the time of the Rambam, and he wrote many he wrote Perushim on the Torah. He was a very big philosopher. And one day he was having a debate and a conversation with his neighbor regarding philosophy, regarding Hashem, the creation of the world, and a really deep conversation. The neighbor had been writing a poem, probably just before the conversation started. And at one point, in the middle of their conversation, the neighbor excused himself for a few minutes. And when he came back, he saw that the poem was finished. But it wasn't just finished, it was brilliant, it was beautiful. And it fitted the end at the beginning of the poem actually fit. You couldn't tell that it was written by 2 different people. So the neighbor said to Rabbi Avraham ben Ezra, just a minute, who wrote this? Wow, this is unbelievable. Rabbi Avraham ben Ezra said, well, the ink spilled, and that's how the poem was written. It can't be. The neighbor said, it's impossible. Something like this can't happen. The ink is not going to write by itself and come up with these brilliant words that are written down in this here. So obviously, the Avraham explained that he is the one who wrote it, and it was a big hint and a big opener for neighbor to actually understand what the Rambam had been. Rabbi Avraham ben Ezra had been trying to teach him that yes, there is a creator. It cannot be just saying the bang. What does it mean, a bang? Where does a bang come from, right? So, Hashem created this world, and not just nature. It's not just things happen by themselves. Hashem runs this world. Hashem is very, very involved in this world. He has a plan for it and has a vision for this world. So why is it that so many people have so many questions regarding the world? So the answer is the sechel, the knowledge, the intellect of a person knows that Hashem created the world. However, the heart, lev makom hasfekot. The heart has desires, and because of the desires, that takes over the sechel, the intellect. So, for example, is someone wants, let's say, to do something and go someplace, but it's not really a proper place to go to, and oh, it's okay. It's only the one time, and actually it's about history, it's about this, it's based on a true story, it's about that, this and that. The person will find ways to make it kosher. Find ways to say, yes, it's fine, it's okay, right? It means that the intellect, the sechel, was run over, overcome by the desires. But once a person decides, no, it's wrong, so for us to have Emuna, we need both. We need to have the intellect, and we have to have it deep inside our heart. But if we just use our heart alone, like some people say, Hashem knows, I love Hashem, it's all in my heart. It's not enough. Because we also need to use the intellect. Because the intellect is going to push us to overcome our desires. It's going to push us to get stronger in our Emuna. And therefore, it's going to push us to follow the mitzvot. There was a rabbi by the name of Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman, Hashem Yikom Damo, who was killed by the Nazis during the war, Second World War. And at the time, he actually asked a question back then: how can we expect a 12-year-old girl, bat mitzvah, or a 13-year-old boy, who's a bar mitzvah, to actually have Emuna? How do we expect something like this? It's huge. Because again, for Emuna, it means you have to overcome your desires, right? So, and not only this, there are philosophers for hundreds of years who have been debating and talking about this. And this is not an easy concept to struggle with. So the answer of Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman is, only a fool can deny the existence of the Creator. Only a fool. Someone who does not want to use his knowledge and his good sense. Such a person, Chachamim call him a fool. And for this reason, even a 12 years old or a 13 years old is expected to have Emuna. Yes, you're only 13 years old. You haven't gone through life yet. You have not had real challenges yet. You may have had some challenges. But again, like we said before, our Emuna can grow stronger only if we overcome our desires. 12 years old and 13 years old, that's when they really start opening up their eyes. They start to see things, hear things. And that's where the desires are there and they're enticed. There's peer pressure and they want to see, they want to taste, they want to go places, they want to do things. And they think they're on top of the world and nothing is going to stop them. But Rabbi Yochanan Wasserman said, yes, that's when you train that child. Train that child to overcome that desire, because that's the only way that child's going to have Emuna. That is really the key to Emuna, is to look at the Torah as a way of life. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yamenu. The mitzvot are our lives, and it is what gives us meaning and lengthens our days, our lives. The Torah is not just information, okay, Pesukim to learn off by heart, Rashi to learn off by heart. That's not, it's fact, it's dry facts. Yes, it's good to know, but it's not enough. We have to live Torah. You have to breathe Torah. So how do we pass this on? The Chachamim tell us, if we want to pass this on, and actually the Rabbi Wasserman and many other Chachamim, they tell us, for us to pass this on to our children, so every teacher, every Rebbe, every parent, teachers and parents are the same, I consider the same. And so is a Rebbe. So we are supposed to have a simcha, Ivdu et Hashem besimcha. Be happy. What does this mean, be happy to serve Hashem? It means whatever you're doing, I have to cook for Shabbat. I have to do this. I have to do that. That's not being besimcha. Be happy. Oh, we need cooking. Come, let's go. And then you take your child and you say, okay, come, you want to help me out with this? Let's make it pretty. Let's make it like this. That's what's going to bring enthusiasm, energy, and make it special to the child. And the child, then, when we pass on that emunah to our children and this simcha of wanting to do the mitzvot, that's what's going to give the child the desire, the will, not the desire, sorry, but the will to overcome the desire and grow in emunah. And now we can understand why Ben Israel said the Shirah, as Yeshua Moshe, only after crossing the sea and not when they came out of Mitzrayim. In Mitzrayim, Ben Israel believed that they would be redeemed. They understood, yeah, okay, it's going to come. Yes, okay, it's going to come. But it was just there. That's it. It wasn't deep inside their hearts. It wasn't. And it was like a feeling, but it wasn't such a strong feeling that was matching their intellect. It wasn't. So because of that, as we know, feelings change. Feelings don't always stay the same. So as long as feelings and desires get in the way,
it says low battery.
Then it becomes too. You stopped it?
No, I didn't stop it.
Okay. Then it's in my room. Sorry, it's the low batteries. So then it becomes too difficult to have a strong emunah. When Ben Israel, after crossing the sea, they saw the Egyptians drowning, the taskmasters, those people who made them suffer so much. those were so mean and cruel. They saw them drowning, but not just drowning. They saw them going up and down in the water, up and down, brother tossed up in the air and down back, all the way down below, and up again, again and again and again. And those who were not so cruel, they died. They didn't go up and down so much. They didn't suffer so much. Bnei Israel realized, midah keneged midah, that they seen something here that they had never seen before, and that put fear in them. That what? Midah keneged midah, measure for measure, that no one gets a reward which is too small or too little for them, or too big for them, and no one gets a reward which is a punishment which is too small or too big for them. That judgment, that mishpat, that judgment is really what opened up their eyes and realized Hashem is so involved in this world. He notices, he knows and sees everything that is going on in this world. That knowledge is what brought them to a higher level of Emuna. Vayi'u ha'am et Hashem. They had fear. Bnei Israel had fear, right? That there is punishment and there is reward. And the punishment and the reward is exact. Nothing too much and nothing too little. And in Tehillim we say, Yashiru Tehilato. That's when they sang the praises of Hashem. Because now they praised Hashem for being so involved in this world, for being the creator, for doing exactly what needed to be done. Not more and not less to the Egyptians. So Rabbi Yerucham Lebovitz says, one needs to have a clear idea of how Hashem runs this world with precision. No reward is too big, and no punishment is too big, and no reward is too small, and no punishment is too small. A higher state of Emuna is, as we have learned in the previous lessons, that Hashem runs the world and nothing is done without Hashem's willing it to happen. We learned this before, that Hashem makes things happen, right? If I am cutting vegetables and I cut myself with a knife, it's because Hashem wanted me to cut myself with a knife. Some kind of punishment for whatever it is I may have done. In the case of Bnei Israel, the fear of Hashem, seeing the punishment, brought Bnei Israel to have Emuna, faith. We are going through life. Hashem sends messages to wake us up through our challenges, through our fears and punishment and difficulties, for us to see what is important in life, not just follow our desires, but actually overcome them. Obviously, each one on our own level, but these are all wake-up calls. So may Hashem help us to be able to overcome our desires and always fulfill His will. May He bless us in the zechut of this learning. May He bless us for us to have breiut, parnasa tova, nachat, simcha. עבדו את השם בשמחה, זיווגים, פרנסה, בריאות, ברכה, הצלחה. And we'll see you tomorrow.